Hello, welcome to panellogy number 24. My name is Earl Grey and today it's all about these nobrow magazines. They are very colorful stuff and therefore I thought it would be a good idea to change the place of recording and get out of my nerd cave below and try to go here, but sound-wise there are some problems. I don't know what it is today, but we are living in a usually quite silent, quite quiet village, but today all hell breaks loose, like we are invading Poland for the second time. I mean crazy Germans are mowing their lawns like there's no tomorrow and stuff. Okay, but I hope you can understand me. And just ignore the sounds in the background. Nobrow magazines. Actually, the 9th installment came out these days. Number 1 to 5 I didn't have because they are sold out a long time ago. But I'm happy to have these 4. Each of the magazines are a two-parter. You have comics in the first half, and then you flip it around, flop, and you have illustrations, double-page spread illustrations in the second half. Each book is about a theme that's reflected in the color scale, the color choices they made for printing. About that I will talk a bit later, but the theme for the first book was the double, all about doubles, twins, mirroring and so on, for the comics and for the illustration as well. And nobrow 7 was, that's back cover 2, was about Brave New World. Every detail of these books are amazingly good, sort of production value. They are all printed on heavy paper in a technique they call spot color printing, instead of the usual 4-color printing with CYMK. You can print every color separately, so you can print, for an example, metal colors. Just if you look at this tree and the leaves of this tree, I hope you can see that they are shining metally, like metal. And yeah, okay, I was showing you the covers. This nobrow number 8 was about hysteria, and the new nobrow number 9 is called It's Oh So Quiet, and I have a hard time to get that old Björk tune out of my head. Okay, even I know that wasn't Björk who sang this song for the first time. For each volume they define in advance the colors that they will be using for the printing. And the color palette for each book fits for the theme of the book. Just take Hysteria for an example. This toxic green and this light red and together they are building this strong complementary contrast, and this fits perfectly for for the theme of Hysteria. Let me show you some of the pages of this Nobrow Hysteria issue. Crazy good stuff, if you ask me. That's obviously an example from the illustration half. And even though these illustrations are just one picture, because why we are calling them illustrations and not a picture story or comic. They are telling a story. Maybe this is the greatest opposite to contradiction to artwork. Modern art tends to be cryptic, to be minimal, to don't tell any stories. And I see these pictures very much like one-picture stories, and sometimes they are even better than the comics in the other half of the book. Just look at these crazy two dudes. What will they do with their chainsaw and so? I mean, where's the story here? Just in quotes, a nice series of drawings of people with animal heads. On the other hand, an illustration like this one, just a big head, tells more than just one story. Remember Hysteria and in his head, lots of figures tumble through and through, and there seems to be a lot going on in his head. Okay, I was talking about the color scheme, and yeah, it's logic that a book that's called Oh So Quiet and is about comics with no words, no speech bubbles, no text at all, that even the colors have to be more quiet. There's no green, no red crying, that sort of red crying all over the page, but a muted palette. Maybe if I flip through this book, you see how the small palette is used by these artists in different ways and in different quantities. And if we are looking onto number 9, the recent edition, we see that the retro chic these books have. You can be top-notch and very modern and very old-fashioned at the same time. These pictures remember me not only of Paul Klee or some of the abstract painters of the 20th century, but maybe stronger, of Paul Flora and some of the 60s, 70s illustrators back then. So, some of the double spreads of the recent book. Yeah, nice and old-fashioned at the same time. This could be an illustration from the 50s as well. Oh, it's also quiet but also brutal what happened to this plane here. And every good book has to have tentacles. And these two guys were drawn by one Raymond Lamstra. That's particular an artist Dr. Monkeybot raved about in one of his recent issues. Very different styles held together with the color palette and the extraordinary way the colors are printed separately. Talking about the comics of number 9, I have two favorites. This I show here is sort of a runner-up. But one of my two favorites is this story here, Say Hi For Me. I didn't like the stories at first at all. Just from the first glance I thought, oh, the people here are ugly, with these big ears, and so on. It wasn't my first cup of tea at first view, but when I flipped through the book a second time, I liked it as hell. It's about this little boy or girl, maybe, who travels from one parent to the other, and from the mother here to the father here, and so silent that it hurts. But if you know some of the children that are victims of divorced parents, sort of thoughts came up with this story, and nothing happens, but this kid goes to his father and says, sit on this car, and maybe the boldest last panel of a story I've looked at in last times is this one. Nothing happens, they just look at the mountain and the big sky. It's so simple and so beautiful that it literally brought almost tears to my eye. Great story. Something of another level is the story Dead End by one Kirsten Rothbart, about this chick in a beer costume in a van outside the city. She's really on a dead end. Very punkish lady, very beautiful drawings. Maybe every panel can be used for CD cover or similar things. And before my fellow neighborhood members really invade Poland, I will be better off finishing this video. Thank you for listening and watching. Goodbye.